Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Funnel Trade. So it's been quite a while since I've done a Friday sealed deal, but I'm going to do one this week. The market has been so unbelievably bullish for so long, and the prices have been going up so fast. It's been hard to get interested to do a Friday sealed deal because kind of everything's a deal when you're in a market with so much upwards momentum. But we've hit this kind of insane fever pitch with Magic collector boxes over the last month. I made a kind of a warning post for my patrons over on Patreon last night about it, about some of the things that have been going on and just exercising extreme caution. And so today for Friday Seal Deals, I wanted to talk about potentially some of these boxes that might actually still be underpriced. Okay, bear with me and I will explain my methodology and we'll talk about a couple of these. So we have Ravnica Remastered, $510. And the first thing is, well, it actually had a market price of 550. Even in the last little while, it has plummeted since then. Enough sales have pulled the market price down to 527, the lowest ask here at 510 today. And the reason I say that this is probably underpriced even now is that this one was famously underprinted. Nobody saw it coming because everybody had such low expectation for this product because of the way Dominaria Remastered had performed the year before, because its collector boxes had gotten crushed on the back of too high of print runs. And when people started opening these Ravnica Remastered collector boxes, they saw the very high pull rate of the serialized cards. And hey, they were able to back out reasonable estimates of the print run of this. And what do you know? It had been wildly slashed. And now it's been a year and a half. This was a early 2024, a January 2024 product. So it has been over a year and a half. This was dumped heavily on Amazon, and it has had time for the supply to actually dry up. And if we look out here, 41 on the market today and 44 sold last month. In the last 3 months, 180 sold. So, man, actually, just unbelievable sales numbers compared to the thin market depth, and the price has retreated a little bit recently. So, this is one where if you did not catch all the times that I told you to buy on the Amazon dumps down in the 200s, you should probably still go get it now because I think this is actually a reasonably priced product for how old it is, how rare it was the day it released, and then the fact that so much of it has been destroyed in the last year and a half. So, second up, Outlaws of Thunder Junction. And this is something where this has moved up a lot very recently. So let's talk about the recent price action. So 3 months ago, this was 213 at market price. Today it is 278 at market price. So it has gone up about 30% in the last 3 months. Now, is it warranted? Well, okay, this was a uh, February, March product, right? Out of 2024. Okay, so it's looking at about 15, 16 months old at this point. Had a very troubled history. In fact, if we go all the way down here, the most they'll show us on this 1 year plot, it was down at 182 a year ago, which, yeah, nobody was making money selling it at that price unless you're one of the distributors who runs a retail channel and you were selling it at 182. Now, here we are in August of 2025, and we have 70 boxes left in the market and 79 sold in the last month. What about the last 3 months? 214 in the last 3 months. So pretty consistent sales over the last 3 months. And yeah, the market depth is just running out. I mean, this is not some case of, people FOMOing and just wanting to throw money at anything. This product is actually getting into short supply. And remember, WotC slash print runs originally with Phyrexia in January of 2023. So Outlaws of Thunder Junction came 14 months after that. So, we should expect that this had a pretty thin print run too, compared to all those second generation collector boxes that I talk about so often. Do we have any gaps coming up? No, not a lot. Lots of boxes clustered right here at, say, 3 to 320, but just not many left in the market and the sales rate has been high enough to really support the kind of price increase we've seen. And, it's probably going to continue at least for the next several months. And the thing to keep in mind is, let's say tomorrow, every tariff goes to 1,000%, every business shuts down, the S&P 500 drops from what 6,000 something to or 600 some 6,000 something to 100. Sorry, I get confused in my brain between the S&P 500 index and the cost of SPY. And let's say the entire world just becomes a smoldering wreck. There will still be fewer boxes of this left in the world the next day than on that day. And that's the point. That yes, we can have market slowdowns, we can have problems in the TCG market, we can have magic bear markets, TCG bear markets, stock market bear markets, we can have economic turmoil, and yet there will always be fewer of these left in the world the next day than the last. So, same kind of thing with this Murders of Carlo Manor. This was our January 2024 box. Murders was the first set to get play booster boxes, and man, these just did not sell well. Let's see if this will give us a hint. Ooh, $146 market price with the lowest sold in that week at 135. Okay. Yeah, that's about what my memory says is that it really, really got crushed. But you know what happens when a product gets crushed down into the 130s? Well, it's a lot cheaper to open it and enjoy it with your friends. And here we are at 220, and you'll see this near vertical line. What is the daily sales volume? 22, 32, 12, and so far today, only two. So picked up a lot in the last couple days, and it has just absolutely shot this price up. So the market price is 225, and the lowest ask is also 225. So that's moving in lockstep pretty good, showing that we are having good volume without the price moving really, really fast on low volume. So market price and the current lowest ask are lining up, and we see 81 in the market and 180 sold in the last month. So in the last month, it sold, what's that, 1 point or 2.2 times as much as the current amount that's in the market. And just in the last several days, we've seen 60 boxes sold, 65 boxes sold in the last 3 days. So yes, this is another one where the market demand, the evaporation of the supply of the product really is supporting it. And again, this is a product that's 17, 18 months old at this point. It has had time for the amount in the world to drop. And it is a third generation collector box where we've had those slashed print runs and lower inventories even on the first day of their existence. Wow. Not too far out here, and we're at 250. So not many boxes until then. I mean, given the sell-through quantity of the last 3 days, this is like 2 days of boxes before you hit that. So another one of these examples where, maybe it's not exactly crazy, but the price has risen very quickly. Now, there are some where, say, it was already a really old collector box, and then all of a sudden the price just takes off. Those are the kind of situations where you kind of raise your eyebrow and you say, what does the market think is suddenly different? This was a rare collector box before. Why is it now gone up 25% in the last month? And so there are definitely collector boxes out there like that that you might be a little bit skeptical about. Next up, Lost Caverns of Ixalan 535. Such a tumultuous history that this product has had. And we see here on the 1 month chart, well, it's been kind of shallow in its price increase, going from a market price of 474 up to 494 in about the last 3 weeks. So only $20 in the last 3 weeks, but out of about $500, that's what, 125th? So 4% rise in the last 3 weeks. Hey, it might as well not be moving compared to a lot of other things in the market right now. So this is one where we see very, very, very thin inventory. 23 available. The sales have slowed down because the price has gotten high. But this is one where I think people who, again, did not go and get the Amazon dumps all the time. I was screaming to go buy the Amazon dumps to come in here and pick up some and profit from this in the medium term because, again, there just are not many boxes of this left in the world. Only 23 listed right now. Brothers War, $390, and then the shipping, 395, 48 in the market, 114 sold in the last month. And just crazy, crazy price action in 1 month from a market price of 294 up to 382. So gained nearly $100, gained about 30% in the last month. But again, the sales have been unbelievable. It has sold 2.5 times the current market depth just in the last month. So that's what I'm saying is that not every one of these collector boxes that has gone nearly parabolic in the last, say, 6 weeks is completely unjustified. Some of them really, really are seeing very, very, very low inventories remaining in the world, and there are rational reasons for some of them. And lastly, I just want to talk about Edge of Eternities because it's still the new hotness. $393. This is doing a good job of consolidating and not just absolutely falling off a cliff. We saw it peak here prior to release at 442 market price. We're at 377 market price today. It had a whole lot of turbulence Friday of last week when it released. I had gotten up early that morning and it was in the 360s, and it bottomed in the 330s on release day and it jumped up close to 390s by the end of the day. There really was a lot of competition between buyers and sellers over the price of that box on release day a week ago. But it has done a good job since then of not falling off the cliff. And the fact that it's holding a week out now and it's still at that approximately $400 price point means it may hold on. I do not expect this to drop to, say, $200. It would take a devastation of the entire TCG market almost immediately. It would have to happen very, very soon for this to have that kind of drop. Now, could we go into a bear market for TCGs into the second half of 2025? Sure. And if we did, what price might we expect to see? I would expect low 300s. So I'm not telling you you should buy this today. What I'm saying is, well, the next time we have a bonus box deal, it might be a really, really good pickup. And hopefully, WotC is still exercising discipline on these current expansions. Hopefully, we don't realize a year down the line that the print runs of stuff like Edge of Eternities were quadrupled from what we had been expecting out of the third generation boxes. Because remember, eventually, when we transition into whatever the fourth generation of collector boxes is, we won't realize we've gotten there until 6 or 9 or 12 months after it's actually happened. It will take time for us to realize what has happened. Just because, hey, we only get data points ever so often, and it takes us time to evaluate and to get enough information to look backwards and modify our theory about what is happening. But basically, Edge of Eternities holding that price very well, probably not destined to just fall off the cliff at this point if it's gone a week post release and it hasn't done it yet. So that's a very, very, very good sign for this box. So that was the first Friday seal deals I have done in several months. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of hard to get excited to do them when basically everything is a deal because of the upward momentum of the market. But I feel right now we've reached that insane fever pitch that we've had over in Pokemon. Well, feels like we've just reached that in the Magic collector market here in the last couple of weeks where you look at it and you look at the amount of money that people are paying for some of the things, you see the prices going parabolic, and you say, man, I'm maybe going to step back a little bit and wait for it to break down, wait for the irrational exuberance to fade a little bit, and wait for all the crazy folk to uh, maybe go somewhere else for a little while. One day we'll get back into a delicious, delicious TCG bear market where we can be picking things up below MSRP, below wholesale. We can pick up the fire sales from people who overpurchased and have to liquidate. We can pick up the sales from the capitulators. It'll be wonderful. We'll get back there eventually, but Still can't see when that is going to be. It's just we've reached such a point in the market right now where a lot of the time I'm seeing things out there and I'm thinking, man, I am not comfortable paying that price just because the upside opportunity is so limited compared to the downside risk when the market is already stretched out this much. All right, guys, for patrons, we had Sealed Sale 27, the Urza Saga booster packs last night. That's going to run through 8 p.m. tonight if you want to get in on that. There is still time for it. You can get quantity up to 6 original Urza Saga booster packs from 1998 if you are a patron. Send me a message over there and get those ordered. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.